You're listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host, and in studio with me, my main man, Jamie Angel.
What is up, my friend?
What's up? And we are broadcasting live from the Bill and Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Bill and Bear, your hometown lawyers. You got a legal question? Call those guys. Bill and Bear. Man, we got a jam-packed show ahead of us. So many topics. I don't even know if we'll be able to finish all of them. We'll talk about the LA anti-ICE protest costing nearly $20 million. We got DHS. Yes, we got DHS slamming the media for hiding crime on illegal aliens. Mel Gibson is talking about some stuff. Trump's wage growth is hitting 60-year highs. Man, we got people saying Governor Walz has ties to the shooting suspect and got some criticism over there in Minnesota. Very, very, very interesting. And if we got time, we'll talk about RFK Jr. wanting to target the drug ads. And, of course, media panics over lost money. It's what it's all about. But first, Hegseth is deploying troops to other states to help with ICE. Let's talk about that drive. Let's dive right in. Okay, so you may recall a few days ago, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirmed the deployment of 700 U.S. troops, that's National Guards and Marines, to other areas besides L.A. So you got like Florida, Texas, and Louisiana.
No, say it ain't so.
It's true. It's the truth.
We don't need that here. We got to.
These troops are they're not making arrests. They're there to help provide logistics, administrative support, property security for deportation processing. So a little clerical work, a little manpower. Hey, all good. When you're getting invaded, I mean, this is one way to do it. It's one peaceful way to do it. All right, let's talk about a few little key facts. So again, 700 troops right here signed. No arrest authority. They're deployed under Title 10 since that's been in the news lately with Gavin Newsom and President Trump, whether it's Title 10 or Title 32. Title 10's your national stuff. Support includes clerical work, transport, security. Their aim here is to free ICE agents to focus on law enforcement and not all the clerical stuff, not all the logistical stuff. Hey, that's good. That's good. And this is part of a broader push for 100% operational control of the border. The fact that we're even asking, or the fact that we're talking about a push for that is bizarre. Democrats, Republicans, everyone in between should want operational control on our sovereign borders.
But, I mean, not when we can get such a good rate on selling chunks of the border wall at a discount. I mean,
what a joke.
Obviously, we don't want it that bad.
What a joke. He's referencing President Biden, the last waning moments of his presidency, one last middle finger.
The fire sale.
Of all of it.
Oh, we're having a thrift sale. It was just come put it out there. We'll sell whatever you want. It's Andy.
All right. Man, Hegseth ain't playing, by the way. And he ain't playing politics for sure. And all this is a directive to enforce law enforcement. All this is a directive to help secure our border, making sure that our American families and our American businesses are safe and protected. But ironically, Democrats howl about militarization while sanctuary states bake chaos. That's what I don't understand. This isn't about troops on the street. It's about getting ICE the muscle to do its job and reclaim border control on our border. That's what it's about. Now, 3 points to 3 points that we really need to focus on. Law enforcement isn't ceremonial. This is support, not policing. And what's the alternative? So let's break it down. ICE needs support to run efficient. It needs support to operate legal operations, and often to avoid lethal operations. It needs an organized process. You need this support. Obviously, they're not getting it from the civilian law enforcement side, maybe because they're busy, maybe because they're straight invaded. We have been. But troops handling admin means more deportations of serious criminals, not civilians. And again, this is all about support. It has nothing to do with actual policing. You know, these forces aren't arresting people. We're not sending the Marines door to door. That's a boundary Republicans respect under the law. You know, what this does, though, is it ensures resources go where they actually belong. Actual law enforcement. That's where our resources need to go. And having the backup, and all of our intelligence, all of our efforts, everything in our focus in this operation should be deportation of illegal immigrants. You need manpower to do it. You need logistical support to do it. You need support. We have the manpower and the support and the resources to defend ourselves against an invasion through the military. That's what they're doing. I kind of like the coordination. I kind of like the communication. I don't like a permanent presence of military, I'll tell you that. And I don't like to go to the military on civilian operations, just knee-jerk reaction. This is not knee-jerk reaction. LA is a huge city. ICE operations are huge efforts across all 50 states. At least I think so. I know we're in one of them. I-10, I-10.
Did you hear about the one down the road, Delta Downs?
What?
They picked up 84 yesterday.
84?
84 illegal immigrants were picked up from Delta Downs in Vinton. And we were talking about it this morning.
Yeah, Vinton, right off I-10.
I'm dying to know what the ramifications are for the employers.
Very curious, because they're supposed to be very strict consequences on that. Now, it depends. Now, they picked them up. They were being employed there.
Yeah.
Okay, so they weren't just like hanging out.
It wasn't just 84.
It wasn't a Home Depot parking lot, because you couldn't really know unless the person's there picking them up. You wouldn't know who's employing them. But they were employed there.
Yeah.
They were getting paid there. They were on site. I didn't know that. 84. That's right down the road. That's like an hour and a half, 2 hours west of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening right here. They picked him up at the jail a few weeks
ago. I saw that too. And again, great coordination. I know our sheriff here in Lafayette, Sheriff Garber, takes that very serious, and all the sheriffs, Sheriff Gibson, all those guys, man, they've probably been waiting for support. They've probably been waiting for a partner on the federal side just to help with their relief.
We don't play in Martin Parr.
Beckett, Judge Sheriff Bro, yeah, you doing all the folks. Anyone I didn't include. If you're in the listening area, we're with you. Well, outside the listening area on Rumble, by the way. Yeah, y'all too. Go to rumble.com, like Rumble in the Jungle. Rumble.com, look up the Josh Guillory Show. We want you to watch us. We want you to follow us. Do us a little favor. Follow us. It's free all day, every day. And we don't harass you. But here's my question. Very serious question to the folks fighting all this stuff. What is the alternative? What's the alternative? I mean, we've had open borders. We've overloaded our agencies and sanctuary sentiment. Now we're seeing consequences and a federal response. That is leadership, not hot air, not hate, not evil. Just the executive enforcing the laws created by the legislative branch. Yeah, you need executive orders in there to enforce it. You got to do everything necessary and proper for all you constitutional folks. But here's the bottom line. Trump's admin and Hexeth are reinforcing the rule of law. No fanfare, just action. And we needed that. And we need some more of it. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Oh, man, so much, Jamie. We're going to fit it all in. I believe in us. I believe in us. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and Abear Studios right here in Acadiana. Beal and Abear, your hometown lawyers. Appreciate the support, fellas and ladies. All right, let's switch gears.
Where are we going?
Let's go to the LA peaceful protests.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Can't have a peaceful protest, man, unless you're breaking something.
or setting it on fire,
Yeah, that's true too.
or stealing something.
Yeah, you gotta have
get
looting.
some Adidas.
Gotta have, yeah. That Adidas really, it hits you.
Look,
Yeah.
no, all of it does.
If it been
Nike,
like, yeah,
Adidas, all
okay.
of them.
But Adidas, a little specialty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like them.
Because you've referenced it a lot.
Because the video showed them coming out of the Adidas store. God dang. Lord.
All right. So Madeline Sherritt at The Independent, the national publication, reports that the recent anti-ICE protests in Los Angeles, that little peaceful, fun little rally, well, it's cost the city that we know of by now. That's what we know of as of June 18th, okay? Has cost the city of Los Angeles nearly $20 million in damage and police overtime. Money well spent. Well, hey, was your point made? Did you make any point that you couldn't have put in a social media post?
I thought it was peaceful. I don't understand why it costs money if you're not breaking nothing.
It's a peaceful protest. It's just 20. It's just 20 million.
So that many people tripped on the curb and it broke under the weight of their feet. So they had to pick it up and throw it out.
Well, they have overtime for police officers. Not 20 million worth, but I mean, if so, wow. Yeah, what a joke. So the protests erupted, as we recall, after ICE agents conducted targeted raids on illegal aliens working in the fashion district. We know that caused a little tiff over there in the fashion district. Jeez. In the aftermath, downtown LA turned into a war zone. And the taxpayers, well, hey, just stick it to them again. It's just 20 million. Hey, man, it's just 20 million. It's a little peaceful protest. Burn a few things, break a little few things, gotta have a little looting. Yeah.
20 million, huh?
20.
How many homeless people could you feed with $20 million, California?
Yeah. Or just Los Angeles and just them.
You get some nice hotel rooms for them.
Yeah, offices for sex trafficker and drug traffickers. That's what all the rhinos and Democrats wanted in COVID, to put all these people in hotel rooms. Yeah, for the 90% that are good, great, wonderful. We're helping out folks that need it, and I love that. Love that. Everybody does. And I'm being kind, maybe 10%, probably more, that are going to use that as offices to have prostitution rings and drug rings and all that. They're not going to have guns because we follow the law, and all the criminals will. Anywho, let's go back to the facts of this one. 20 million on the peaceful protests. $16.9 million was spent by LAPD. And that's including, so the overtime was 11.7 million. So that means more than 8 million in property damage for a peaceful protest.
But you got to get your point across somehow, right?
Social media.
But
burning things, not in an illegal way.
Walking's boring. Gosh, people aren't gonna get your message if you're just walking up, man. Hey, and look, people try to be really working.
That's open.
Beat someone, you gotta set them on fire.
It's sad.
Or something completely atrocious.
Or stop covering it. I mean, but you got to write the cover, you got and all that stuff. But man, so over $780,000 went to repairing damage to City Hall. Man, those elected officials should have to pay it themselves. Y'all let that happen. You let that happen in your city, Mayor. You.
Now, Josh, if somebody had shown up to City Hall when you was mayor president,
they would have regretted the day. They would have regretted the day.
Painting a mural.
Would have regretted that.
You want to let them do it like they did in Sense? You're talking about your small police, small detention because you don't have 1, 2 security guards.
With the media said that,
you would have stopped them with your measly few security guards, but all the time there are thousands of officers.
How many people came rolling in on the armed protests? And I mean, this is easy. Whatever you do, just don't let the crap happen. You just don't let it happen. That's what I'm saying. $780,000 went to repairing City Hall, police headquarters, and other government buildings. You let it happen. And not only did you let it happen, you embraced it, just like these little wannabe domestic terrorist thugs that couldn't hold their own in a fifth grade fist fight in a playground. You want to support these little wannabes on college campuses. You're the ones that are inviting these guys. You're the ones that are you want to appease the folks that are anti-Israel but still want to be pro-Israel. You want to appease the domestic terrorists in your city in LA, burning things and breaking things and causing fear. That's what terrorists do. They create terror. It's what they do. You want to appease them for whatever reason. What do they have to offer you, Democrats and rhinos? What do the protesters have to offer you politically? What do they have to offer you anyway? They're not helping your economy. They're costing you $20 million. What are they doing for you, Democrats, that you have to cater to them? Because you're getting played. And it's just the wokenese, as you say, the extremes, but you're getting played like a cheap fiddle from elites in the Democrat Party. There's elites in the Republican Party. They play the same they play folks the same way in a different way. Same way in a different way. Different message. Same way, different message. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. More than 500 arrests were made during the peaceful protests. The protest began after ICE raids targeted illegal aliens at businesses. So what? What?
You said illegal what?
Aliens. I know.
Oh.
Like space aliens or like illegal aliens? Remember that little kid?
Josh.
That high schooler.
Yeah, I remember.
He got suspended.
I don't think you can say that.
No? All right. Shops in the area became ghost towns. Police had to use flashbangs. You saw that. Foam rounds, batons, all to restore order. Yeah. How we doing on time?
Good. Got 2 minutes.
Yeah. I can do a lot in that. At least 20 journalists, or at least they call themselves journalists, reported injuries. One had a paper cut, including... What kind of injuries you think these journalists had?
They have texting thumb.
That's true. Yeah. You can get corporal tone.
You guys can go bad with a little.
That's true.
Getting cross-eyed from looking at the cameras.
Yeah.
Just being where you're not supposed to be. I don't know. Maybe trying to get at some stuff into a little bit.
5 of the medical. Mayor Cass, don't you worry about it. She's on it. She imposed a curfew. $700,000. Yeah. 800,000, whatever it is, to your own government buildings because you can't keep order. I mean, this is the tail wagging the dog. And of course, we recall the protest coincided with a coordinated wave of anti-Trump "No Kings" demonstrations across the country. I did like President Trump's post.
They called him a king. Wait, which one are you talking about?
Well, the one I'm talking about, he said he agreed no kings, and the people spoke on November 5th to get rid of a king. All right. So, look, this is what Democrat leadership gets you. This is what it gets you. And we're going to talk about that when we get back, but also the phone lines are wide open. I also want you to follow us on rumble.com, 232-1542, 844-766-6606. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and A Bear Studios right here in Acadiana. Hey, you got legal questions? Call my boys and gals over there at Bill and A Bear Hometown Lawyers. They can help you out.
They certainly can. And they will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, my favorite part of the whole show, the phone lines are wide open. 232-1542 here locally, 844-766-6607. It's also on Rumble, and you can chat us on Rumble as well. Rumble.com. Go to the Josh Guillory Show. You can see us live. Hopefully I don't break your monitor. Let's see here. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Who we got, buddy?
Hang on. I got to find out which screen I'm on.
You're good. I think that's Tony. Tony, what you got, Tony?
Go ahead, Miss Tony.
Hi. Yeah, those anarchists all over the world, they disrupt all the peaceful protests. They seem to come in and agitate and aggravate. I say we just block all the exits and tell them, y'all going to stay here till you clean up your mess. We have to bring in some trustees from Angola to teach them how to frame up those curves. There's a few mamas out here we could teach them how to get their crayons marks off the walls.
There you go.
And anything else they tore up, maybe we could get them certified in something and they could go out there and get them a job.
Ooh, that'd be good. Or they could move to Massachusetts. We just saw the Massachusetts this fiscal year is anticipating on spending $1 billion. That's what it'd be. $1 billion on their homeless shelter experience over there. See, we could just ship them over there.
Mass shelter.
But Tony, let me get this straight though. I'm liking your solution here because I think this is a combo that I don't think too many people can mess with. You're saying bring some prisoners from Angola and you couple them with a bunch of moms and like we're conquering the world. Did I hear that correctly?
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm thinking, have you ever walked into the nursery after hearing your children and their guests are obviously wrecking the joint, and you just get to stand in the door and say, y'all going to clean this up?
That's right. That's right. Mama's coming out. You ain't leaving this. You ain't getting through this frame until them toys are picked up. I love it, Tony. Love it. Thanks for calling in. Always appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Caller, you were live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yep, that's you. What you got, caller?
Oh, all right. Hey, Jamie and Josh in alphabetical order.
Hey,
I don't know if y'all mentioned this before, if it's come up, but why just a thought, go get all of the illegals in the areas that want to be served, let the others migrate to the sanctuary cities, let that then trigger voters' decisions when they have enough of it, and then go and sweep the corners when that time comes.
Well, sounds like a common sense approach.
Why not?
Hey, it sounds better than what was happening for 4 years. That's for sure. Hey, good call. Good call. Oh, go ahead.
All right, brother. Have a blessed day.
You too. Thanks for calling in. Hey, I always say, don't go to any situation, any problem without a recommended solution. And that's what that caller had. So I certainly appreciate it.
Indeed, they did. Hey, we got a couple of app chats.
Holla at us.
Mr. Kenny, a big fan of the show. Always very kind. Said, just got on Rumble today for the first time. Love it. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day.
Hey, Mr. Kenny.
You too, Mr. Kenny.
Yeah, and thank you for all the kind words. You're always awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Kill Switch always brings it. Good afternoon, sirs. Trump was the alternative.
Yeah, thank you, Switch. Very well said to my question.
And then Jay and Broussard says, how about a monarchy where a Democratic vice president is put into the position of running for president with zero election?
Twice.
That.
Hey, twice. Ran for president twice and received 0 votes. Zero. Wow. Hey, great messages as always. Again, you can call the program 232-1542. Look on rumble.com. We got a number there that's you can also use if you're outside the Acadiana, Louisiana area. All right. But again, we're talking about all this stuff at LA and the riots. We're talking about all of the cost that it's had on the people of Los Angeles. I would be so upset. $20 million. $20 million for a peaceful protest. And 800,000 of it roughly goes to government buildings that were destroyed or vandalized. Oh boy, that makes my blood boil.
Does it?
Yes, because it's so avoidable It's so I understand one-offs and I get it. The first crime that was committed, there should be a loud and clear message that BS ain't going to be tolerated here. You hear me? Like, that's done. Like, that is, you keep it between your ears, and that's about it.
Now, who's going to be crying for the federal funding? Like $20 million here, that would bankrupt us.
Man,
that would destroy us.
That would hit us.
I'm so glad they have that kind of money that they can just
allow
people to cause mayhem. And this isn't just a one-time thing. This happens often.
Yeah. How much money did they spend to clean up the place before that, whatever that event was?
China event?
And exactly. And guess what? You could have avoided all that by just keeping your place clean, keep it up like folks do at their business or their house. I'm just throwing that little nugget out there for you. Let's go back to the phone lines.
All right, we got Kevin in
the motherland.
The
motherland of Evangelist Parish. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, I'm just amazed, man. After 30 years in law enforcement, it blows my mind that these people in Los Angeles and LA County and the judges and everything else, it's like law and order does not need to exist because it's okay for us to let politics take over.
Thank you.
That just totally blows my mind.
It's hard to understand
how they can go home. How they can go home at night and say, we represent the people and we'll take care of the people. That's ridiculous. Have a good day.
Thanks, Kevin. Man, it's so true though. Kevin is so right. Man, what about the taxpayers whose property was damaged? How are they feeling right now? You think they feel like their elected leaders have their back? We get it. Things happen. We do. We understand. Things happen. One-offs happen. I get it. This is a culture thing. This is a leadership thing. This is a lack thereof thing. I'm just saying.
You remember the George Floyd protests?
Yeah.
And they were burning down buildings, setting people's life.
Yeah.
Like one
Took
guy
over a government building. Who the hell lets a bunch of little wannabe street thugs take over a dang federal or state building? A police state, boy.
And then
I'm frustrated, and I think you're frustrated because we know how easy that could be avoided. You know what I mean? With an ounce of leadership and organization and a half of a backbone, you can get it done. A quarter. You can do it with a quarter of a backbone. You don't even need a full backbone.
In the meantime, you got families who've had businesses in their family for 80, 90, 100 years. Gone because some moron decided he was going to take advantage of a sensitive, highly polarized situation and set some crap on fire.
And some bigger moron that's been elected says that's okay. Anyway, Renee says that's not okay. Renee, what you got today, my man?
Oh, I'm gonna say what I always say. The left like bigger government. Well, we should, like we have Doge. Maybe we should have a special department just to judge politicians and political leaders and appoint it. Anyhow, they appoint it or they apply the job. If they're political leader, like a CEO from DP or some businessman from DP or something, when they mess up, they get in lawsuit. That's why they got to put LLC on there. The government should not be LLC unlimited. The man heard or whatever she is from Portland, Oregon, and everybody else that messed up. I know they want to put Trump on the deck. Crappy charges that don't make sense. But every politician that mess up, like a CEO guy, or you and me, when we reckon to somebody, they got the lawyers. Well, they need to make these people. You want a public office? You should have laws or sign a paper in there that you are liable for property damages when you act stupid. You should be liable for property damages, rape, killing, everything that goes wrong, a riot or messing up with the police or everything. They like to go after the police. They need to go after the politicians and the socially engineered.
Thanks, Renee. Woo, we had to interrupt you, buddy. Man, look, made some points in there. Made some points.
There's a lot.
Always bring the heat. Always, but we appreciate it always. And I want to appreciate everybody else's call. So call us in, 232-1542, 766-6607. Put an 844 in the front and you're good. All right. So again, this is what Democrat leadership gets you. This is not unique to LA. We're just seeing yet another example of the tail wagging the dog. Tail wagging the dog. Warren knows about it. Let's hear from him. Warren, what you got, buddy?
Well, in the old days, they'd pop a couple of them and that would stop real quick, but I can understand they don't want to do that, but they should just unleash rubber bullets like it's going out of style. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Warren. And that is one example. Non-lethal force. Use it. Do what you got to do. Restore order. Yeah, you have a right to your thoughts. You have a right to peacefully assemble, but you don't have the right to break property. You don't have the right to burn things that don't belong to you. You don't have a right to disturb other people's peace. I can keep going on and on and on. Maybe the elected folks over there will get it one day. Hopefully so. We're going to keep them in our prayers and our thoughts. And we'll be right back. Stick around. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and A Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Let's go to our buddy Mel Gibson.
What's old Mel up to?
I'm sure he's listening to the show right now. Hey, Mel.
I was Mel Gibson with all this Israel Iran stuff. I'd just be
yeah, that's so. But it's after I saw We Were Soldiers, it's hard for me to see him in any other viewed the podcast earlier this week. That's pretty neat. Raymond, now I think Raymond's the guy that's on Laura Ingalls a lot. He's also on EWTN. Black hair, real short.
Laura Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie.
Laura Ingalls.
Ingram.
I'm pushing that on. Ingram.
Laura Ingalls. Oh, Ma.
Yeah, there you go.
Pa?
Hey, her too. Anyway, so let's go over some things they talked about. So Gibson, man, he blasted Newsom and Bass for their failures during the wildfires. He was vocal during those times, but he's been very vocal on the ongoing ICE protest chaos, and that's exactly what it is. He said in the interview that California is in a state of turmoil, it's his words, and he called for competent leadership that defends the values America was built on. See, that puts it in such a better light knowing that he's a legal immigrant saying that. See, I'm really genuinely appreciation for what America is. A lot of folks that go through the immigration process end up learning way more about our country and civics than a lot of Americans, and it's kind of sad.
And even folks who don't, like folks kind of like Mel Gibson, these mainstream folks who have it from an outside perspective. A lot of people can look at the United States objectively, go figure, and see, where the faults are. And I'm sure they're glaring to those folks. Not so much to us.
Yeah, no, I got it. So Arroyo and Kaylee
McEnany.
Gosh, they echoed Gibson's frustration. They pointed out that protests shut down emergency access in parts of LA. You had folks that needed to go to the emergency room. You needed folks that needed emergency vehicles to include law enforcement. Must have been that overtime. 20 million. Wow. Arroyo called the situation a dereliction of duty, accusing Newsom and Bass of enabling anarchy while blaming Trump for authoritarianism. That is so true. That is a good description of what's going on and what people are saying and who's saying it. I'd say so. Protesters in LA were shown burning U.S. flags. Nothing like a peaceful protest. Nothing like the choice to exercise our free speech in a way that just disrespects the country that gives you the constitutional protections to do it. Nothing says it like that, baby. Hey, why don't you go and burn a Hamas flag in front of Hamas?
Boy, if we would do that.
Actually, what if you just go burn an ICE or like the other ICE ISIS flag?
ISIS
Sorry,
flag.
Go burn an ISIS flag. You'd probably be arrested.
Let's do it.
I'm not. You go do that in LA. You probably get arrested.
Oh, absolutely.
If you wave the ISIS flag and burn it, you're probably getting arrested for some crime. Oh gosh, yes, hate crime, and anything else they can throw at you. But boy, you burn an American flag, you are elevated, you are enlightened, you're so bold. Oh my gosh, you're so brave.
Brave.
Man, that thing. Go back to Texas versus Johnson Playboy.
This ain't Texas.
That play has been used for 50 years old. Get new material. Anyway.
Oh, but
it's Shabbat. Go ahead.
Tony Dasher said, I love Miss Tony's idea, and I'll be happy to DoorDash all the cleaning supplies y'all need.
Yeah. Way to go.
JP somewhere in I-10 said they just need to get Gordon. And T-Don and Paul Bro.
I like how he said he's on I-10, and he's
it's crazy people like water telling even crazier unhinged people go in the streets, harass people, and arrest, etc. Can you barbecue with one, Josh?
takes me. I wouldn't send my in that little bit.
I know. There. So.
Oh man, probably what fights me the most, and where I feel the most like. Decades, maybe generations. Okay, maybe they're still just making ends meet because it ain't always easy running a business. It's just not. And these guys struggle every day, and they fight so many things that they need fought to be distracted that take them away from that, and they're gonna have to be disrupted by this little immature wannabe thug. Want to be little attention getters? I don't know. Doesn't sit well with me. And it shouldn't that governor over there. Go around. We'll be right back. Hour number 2. It's going to be hot.
You're listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. Ooh, I remain your host, and in the studio with me, amen, Jay. Yeah.
On purpose.
No, sometimes he's to give me some issues, but anyway, these are they're not TikTok. Sometimes I don't really.
That?
Oh, that's my Gooder.
Good.
Yep.
Because they're not spendy.
No, they're good.
I need a good pair of
So. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced real wages for hourly workers are up nearly 2% in just the first 5 months of President Trump's second term.
That's not possible, Josh. God dang it.
Oh.
The tariffs ruined the economy.
Yeah.
The economy's falling apart.
Yeah. Remember, American jobs and the wages would go down. It would have opposite effect. 2%.
Cut all the programs and laid off all the people off.
Yeah.
How would wages if everybody laid off?
Yeah. You got a million illegal immigrants that have volunteered. I mean, you want a humane immigration program and policies. This is it. You're seeing it.
Don't let them in the first place. That's the most humane thing you can possibly do.
That is true. But executing, removing the wall. There you go. 14 to go. Well, hold on. 14 to go just from the last 4 years.
Right. Not to mention the ones that have been here. Not to mention all the dreamers.
Oh, yeah. Hey. So 2% wage increase average, national average in 5 months. That's pretty strong. That's the strongest start in over 60 years. So think the early 60s. Think JFK, think LBJ. And it's not the first time Trump has hit that mark. He did it in his first term too. So since January, let's talk about a few little facts. Real, actual hourly wages rose nearly 2%, now sitting at $31.18. So that's our national average wage right there. That's a 4.1% annualized pace. Think about that, which economists call strong. Inflation has dropped from 2.9% in December to 2.4% in May. That is 0.5% in 6 months. Trump is the only president since Nixon to deliver this kind of wage growth in the first 5 months of a term. And that benchmark of December is important, because that is about the time that Trump started to get vocal on what he was going to do when he was sworn in. He was talking about deals. He was talking about the economy. He was talking about trade. Matter of fact, looking back, he talked about trade more than maybe we covered and more than maybe we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest. Then, of course, he ramped it up. So you already saw that you saw the transition of power November 5th. I mean, it's like President Biden just went total AWOL. Total. And so did our former vice president. Biden's first 5 months showed a 1.7% drop, if you want to put that in perspective, meaning inflation outpaced wages. Median household income jumped over $5,000 between 2018 and 2019 under Trump's first term. The guy knows what he's doing. The Council of Economic Advisors projects that extending Trump's 2017 tax cuts could raise real annual take-home pay even more. Very curious to see. I don't think those are getting extended. What do you think?
Probably not.
I mean, the House said yes.
The Senate is doing their thing right now.
That's right. Killing every good idea that we can.
They've already the assault. We put that back down at 10,000.
And that's, oh boy, that aggravates me too, guys. Because why wouldn't? That SALT is state and local taxes. So you could get an exemption. Why wouldn't California raise their taxes wazoo? Why wouldn't New York? Think about it. And really, we shouldn't be saying this too loud because there's down the road that'll think that's a good idea. Just they have an R by their name doesn't mean anything.
I've never understood, again, tax and taxes.
Yeah.
Or not tax and taxes.
No, but it's kind of, what this add on?
Like,
I have
taxes
no problem.
Are there for a reason.
Hey, I have no problem local taxes. I have no, well, we don't have problems with taxes. It's just wasteful taxes. But local is where you need it. Local is where the rubber meets the road. The federal government is a government of limited powers. I didn't write the Constitution.
Let me rephrase what I said earlier. If nobody pays taxes, we don't have money to fund stuff. So taxes are a necessary evil.
Sure.
But again, stop gaming the system. Just do it the right way to begin with. You don't have to play all these.
There's also, but giving tax dollars to government, to governments, especially local governments, and not seeing anything done or seeing infrastructure projects cut for some social BS program.
NGOs, man.
Dude. All right. So here's what all this means. It's not theory. That's for sure. It is action. And the working class is finally getting real raises. We're seeing this in real time. And not because of some feel-good bureaucratic slogans or government handouts, but because Trump put the people first. Trump put the workers first, the American workers, the backbone, small businesses and American workers, backbone of our economy, backbone of our country. But securing the borders played a role in that. Smart trade plays a huge role in that. I mean, we were getting railroaded. We were getting so taken advantage of. And it didn't happen overnight, and we would be very foolish to think we can fix it overnight. But I got to tell you, I mean, if you look at the stats, if you look at where we're at right now, objectively, it seems to be working. Time will tell. Time will tell. A lot of things will come out. Like I said, we didn't get here in 5 minutes. We didn't get here in 5 months. Well over 30 to 60 years. But energy independence helps. Now, I would say, look where we're at in Louisiana, where we're broadcasting. Like, we love energy, oil and gas, but it's kind of hard to say that these days. I know that we, the people, support oil and gas, but we, the government.
Don't get me started. Look, I'm mad at Louisiana.
Why?
I just got my insurance bill.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. It doubled $600 a month moving forward, Thanks, Jeff.
So man.
If it was I don't even know what to do.
Hey, look, if it was a priority, get done.
And I shopped around for other ones. They're even more.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I'll tell you, a lot of people are feeling that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like government, it's hard for people to support government because government's been out of control for so long. But again, how many times on the local level do they keep coming back for taxes? And they keep getting shot down, but they don't get it. Especially when they have folks in there that can show you that you can do it without the extra taxes. Just saying.
But will I still get the free turkey trip?
Come on, man.
It ain't free, brother. Be right back, guys. Stick around. We're going to have so much fun. From the Bill and A-Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Hey, your hometown lawyers, man. You got questions? Any legal questions? Get off. They don't do it. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. All right, Jimmy, it is your time. Let's see. Time for a little
high-level analysis.
Let's do it.
We're going to open the phone lines early today.
Yeah,
Since it's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Kevin. Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. He'll bring us some pretty cool stuff later today. Yeah, let's open them up. 232-1542 outside of Acadiana. 844-766-6607. Guys, I want you to go to rumble.com. Follow us on Rumble. Let us keep getting those features. We can keep sharing with folks that we respect and appreciate. All right, a little higher level analysis here. Well, Biden gave some. We know that, and lessen the power. We like that. Blue collar workers, small business owners. You know those guys. Families scrapping to get by. They're feeling the difference. That's what this article was on, and that's what the reality is that we're covering. Highest growth in wages, over 2% in 60 years. That's that, and he's only been 5 months. 5 months in office. But the economy is working because Trump tore up the old script. And we don't know how some of these initiatives are going to play out. We don't know the long-term effects of the tariffs. But we can at least say this: it ain't nearly as bad as the left and rhinos said it was going to be. At least for now. Maybe that changes. And if it changes, I'm confident we have a president that is flexible enough to change with it. The worst thing we've had over the years was a combination of stubbornness, ego, and being bought and paid by the elitists, or at least controlled by the elitists. Maybe not bought and paid. That might be a little harsh, but controlled by them for sure. And Trump just tore up the old script. We have to do something different to do something different. It's not rocket science. But keeping the leadership that fights for the people who actually make this country run, sign me up. Sign me up.
Speaking of signing up, you're on Truth Social, right?
I'm on a Truth Social, and I want you to follow me too. Josh Guillory.
Josh Guillory. If you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, entertainment, check out Truth Social. Donald Trump's social media website.
Yeah.
You get breaking news stories, commentary from top media figures. And if you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social post, get on Truth Social today.
Yeah.
Join a growing community of patriots, Josh.
Yes, and join them on the Josh Guillory page. Killswitch will tell you all about it.
Yeah, it's a free speech platform. They are designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech.
All right. This Big Chris? Let's go to the phone lines here. You can join my friend Big Chris by calling 232-1542 or call this number on the Rumble screen you see right here if you're outside the Acadiana area. Big Chris, what you got today, my man?
Well, you nailed it on the head. Trump is wealthy when he went into the politics, and he lost money. So he's doing it for the small person, the everyday guy. But these politicians go in poor and become out rich. That's all you have to do. And they get subsidized by the oligarchies like the AOC and the guy, what's his name? I can't think of it right.
Bernie.
Yeah,
the road tour, man. Man, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's called projection us what they're doing. But Trump's pulling the facade away. And they up, they're going. It's a house of brains, and they help them. They supposed to how come they fix it all down and they team?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
like in Matthew 4 to 5, even the communist side don't want to pay people their rightful wages. You got Bernie Sanders, Obama, all these communist apostles of communism living in luxury, and Black Lives Matter. People, living in luxury with yachts and all the greatest accomplishments and rewards of communism, because some of their shenanigans like communists, like, Ponzi, and able to live in poverty and misery and no freedom. What kind of crap is that? That's wrong. Somebody needs to go to jail for that.
Well, all right. I think it's wrong too. All right, let's see here. Okay, let's move on topics real quick. Unless you have anything on that.
I'm good.
Let's go to RFK Jr.
Let's do it.
Man, this might hit home.
Watch out. Oh, if Senator Cassidy, if you're listening.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if he checked in with you before we talked about this, but just.
Yeah, because remember when Senator Cassidy was the only senator to have that privilege, and the senator over a department head that has to get clearance by the senator before the department head. Yeah.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Yeah. All right, let's see it. Thanks for that disclosure. That was good. All right, so I'm reading a CNN report that, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the cool kids say RFK2, is weighing two policies that would crack down on pharmaceutical advertising, and the broadcast industry. Well, they're kind of freaking out. I didn't mean freak offs. Stop. You know who I'm talking about in the corner. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the new rules wouldn't ban drug ads outright. Okay, but they would make them more expensive and harder to air. Not directly. Let's kind of dive into why I'm saying that. So, one policy would force advertisers to disclose more detailed risk info, which would lengthen the time of the ad, which would cost more. So that now you would think the broadcasting agency is like, well, more revenue, but no, that would drive that would affect that market. I get that. The other change would eliminate tax write-offs for drug companies' ad spending. That's interesting. It really is. I don't know of another industry that we do. I mean, there has to be some industries that happens, but they have the right to do it.
But is this a can we want to make a big difference? Because most of these ads, how many people watch these ads on TV? Oh, Uber. They go to their doctor and they're like, Doc, can we talk about Uber?
Yeah, when I was
you're in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, a lot, and it's effective. If they weren't making enough of it, they would not spend the money on direct consumer advertising.
So it does work. Absolutely. I assumed.
No, but one thing interesting when they say more disclosures, I'm thinking, God, how much more? I mean, a pharmaceutical commercial, 40%.
Industry start lobbying people to stop ads from a different industry because they think it's a
welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and Abear Studios right here in Acadiana. Your hometown lawyers, give Bill and Abear a call. You got legal questions. So we're talking about RFK Jr. Proposing 2 ideas that he says would help out the patient, make them more informed, can know what they're doing, could cut down on ads, could cut down on direct consumer advertising, and really minimize the influence that pharmaceutical companies could have over direct consumers, the patient. So very interesting. Now, TV, one of those would mean more disclosures, which would mean longer ads, which would mean higher costs, which could mean less advertising. Okay, so TV executives, they warn that slashing this revenue stream could hit struggling broadcasters hard. What? Every time something changes, business owner, you got to be flexible. You got to adapt. But I mean, I get it. It's not an unfair point. It's just a frustrating point. It's like getting money from the government. If your business plan is based on the government, then that's not really a business plan. That is socialism. That is subsidized government program. You're just executing it. And I'm not saying pharmaceutical companies are the government. They're not. But it kind of feels, it has that feel. If that's your business model, it kind of has that feel.
I mean, with how many bureaucrats they pay and dole out money to the government.
Yeah.
I mean,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. With the lobbying efforts too.
Yeah.
The move is about public safety and accurate information, not profit. I believe RFK Jr. when he says that. I believe that he believes that. I believe that he believes that. I believe his intentions are pure in that. That's my opinion. I do believe he thinks it's about public safety and giving accurate information. I do. I don't know what that will do, but apparently this is a big enough issue for HHS. And I do not have objective data in front of me. I don't have a poll or a survey or anything, but I would imagine a large part of the influence of patients asking for specific medications comes from these direct consumer advertisements. They wouldn't do it if it didn't work. And if you think about medications that cannot be measured through a test or any objective measure, anything with empirical data, okay, think about depression, think about anxiety, think about your neurobiological disease states. Look at your mental health disease states. A lot of that is self-reporting. And a lot of that, if you go look at studies, placebo does a really good job. It's actually hard to separate from placebo in clinical trials and in mental illness studies and medications, in neuroscience. It just is. So if placebo, a sugar pill, is able to have that much of an impact, sure, direct consuming works when you can walk into your doctor and 90% of the battle's done because you think what you're about to take is going to work. I mean, hey, yeah, whatever you ask for, that doctor knows that they're starting with a good measure of compliance because they know that you believe in it and they know you're going to take it. And they know that a lot of them are very similar in what they can do. So yeah, this definitely is targeted. I think we can all agree, bare bottom, this will definitely change things if it goes forward. Now, whether that's a good change or not, whether that's a slippery slope, because this is more government involvement. So I always look at that with a very cautious lens when government starts to intervene a little bit more than what it is. And remember, we've said this on the show so many times. How many programs are we fussing about that are 30 to 50 years old that I've said probably started off with good intentions? So you just got to be careful with that. This might be different. Pharmaceuticals might be different. I mean, you're talking about a vulnerable population, elderly population, sick population. Sellers voluntarily come to me. You don't voluntarily go ask for a disease state. You don't voluntarily go ask for an illness. So is it really a market? I get it. It is a market by all means, but it's not a traditional market. So I get it. This might be one of those one-offs.
I see what you're saying though about the playing on people's vulnerable.
Well, yeah,
that word, vulnerabilities.
Mhm.
Because some people, I've been there myself. You get desperate. You get to a
Yeah,
point where
yeah,
something's wrong. You
exactly.
can't figure it out, and you will try anything. So you might see
Yeah.
something that catches your ear, and you're like, "Hey,
Yep.
I'm going to try this," and that doctor's going to gladly let you try it because he's going to make money off of it.
Even if you take the money off of just from a clinical standpoint, and I'm a juris doctor, not a medical doctor, but I have plenty of buddies that are, and I would imagine that if you got a client or a patient to you, and you have 3 or 4 options that generally won't work. Generally, I mean, if a patient asking for one of those, there's a whole other play to this, though. There's a whole other play that we're not. There's a whole huge part of the equation that we're not talking about, and that is formulary, and that's what insurance. Shocker. Now that's federal. Don't call Tim Temple on health insurance. He can't. He can't really help you. I
still gotta call him about my car insurance.
I'd like to.
How come it didn't go down yet?
There was legislation, wasn't there?
Yes.
There was legislation.
I thought it was like 10, 20%. It was supposed to go at least 10%.
I don't know if in full fairness.
Listen.
Oh, Lord.
You got to give it time. Stuff like that takes time. Don't happen overnight.
It might. It might take time.
New Iberia wasn't built in a day.
Kennedy says the move again, public safety. It's not about profit. Now, drug stocks dropped after after Bloomberg broke this story. So I hadn't followed that part, but okay, that's not unheard of. You get something that's shaking that particular market, and as we just discussed, a very unique market. But here's the truth: if these media giants cared half as much about American families as they do about big pharma checks, they'd be cheering on RFK Jr. They would be rooting for him. They'd call him, they'd probably put him up for the Nobel Peace Prize. Matter of fact, if he was still a Democrat, they'd probably be applauding this.
Time Man of the Year.
Yes.
Just like I was multiple times.
He's a whole bag. But the second you
what?
No, it did make sense.
Oh, okay.
My joke fell in my head, and I didn't want to.
Oh, I respect.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You don't want to bring our wonderful audience that's taken their time to listen to us and me go half cocked on a joke. I mean, that would be horrible. They deserve so much better. But I'll tell you, the second you touch those big old traditional media corporations, as soon as you touch their gravy train, they squeal like a little pig. And not the good one that wanted to go home. Drug ads are banned. Drug ads are banned in nearly every other developed nation. They're banned. Can't even do it. And I'll tell you, again, this is not, the more I'm talking about out loud, the more unique this is compared to other industries. This is an industry that is centered around someone that's a professional that has a license. Mm-hmm. There's a physician that has a license to write a medication. There's some professional responsibility that comes with that. There's some a level of sanctity. There's a level of a confidentiality. That's not the right word, but there's a level of responsibility, professional responsibility. You have a duty to perform. So if you are influencing that person, I mean, is that really right?
Mandate.
Yeah, they have a mandate to give them clear, unbiased, unfettered access to the answer.
Remarkable, all the things you're saying. Now take that and apply it to the juris doctors.
Yes.
Because I mean, honestly, they're advertising. That can do just as much harm as the medication advertising.
Well, let's just
call
it out for what it is. If you ban laws, your insurance will go down.
100%.
Now that we know. Now I'm not saying that should happen. Okay, I would not be upset, and I am a lawyer, and I'm telling you that I would not be upset.
But if you ban the Cialis and Viagra ads, is the health insurance going to go down?
No.
Will prescription drug costs go down?
No. I don't. Mental health may go up.
Or it might stabilize.
But Yeah, so they're banned in every other industrialized, every other country out there. But in the U.S., they bankroll the very networks that lecture to us daily. They lecture us. It's almost like a sense of, even if we know that they're full of it, there is a sense of authority there. But no wonder they've never told us the truth about some of the finances associated with Pfizer, the vaccine, Moderna. There's a lot of questions. The whole board. A lot of questions. I don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, wish we had more time. Fun time, us two.
We'll have some fun.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love each and every day. Be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind.